we're going to start a new series. This will be my 12th series. This one is titled The Prophet and the King. I've done the kings of Israel and Judah and the kings of Babylon and Assyria in the Bible. Those videos are on my YouTube channel, The Bible with Tina. So I will not dwell too much on the kings. But the kings had a prophet, that would tell them if they were going astray, or they would bring a message from God. These prophets also took messages to the people, the biblical prophets, to warn them to repent if they were doing idolatry, or they were going a-whoring, or bad stuff. The prophets were always there to warn the people and bring them back to God. So I'm going to talk about the prophets that was during that king, his role during that particular king. But as I said, I will not dwell on the king. You can go and watch the videos about the kings. So the biblical prophets were often called chosen by God. They did not choose themselves. The people did not choose that prophet. Their bellies did not choose them. They were chosen by God. And because they knew what was in store for them, the hardship that came with being a prophet, they would try to reject that role. They would say, God, please, I can't speak. Send somebody else. God, please, I'm only a shepherd. Send somebody else. Or they'll even try to run away altogether. They do not want to do it. Nobody in those days, if God chooses to be a prophet, would rejoice and throw a party and say, guess what? I'm now a prophet. The opposite was the case. They were in tears that, oh no, I don't want to do this. So the prophets we have nowadays, this is the right time to be a prophet. You could live in luxury. You could have jewelry, gold rings, bedeck yourself, live in a palace. But the biblical prophets was not like that. Some had to walk bare feet. Some had to go naked. Some had to sleep on one side of their body for weeks on end. Do you know how difficult that is? Not to be able to turn around when you're sleeping. You know how you'll ache on that side. God told Ezekiel to cook his food over human poo. And he said, God, come on, that's too much. That's unclean. I can't use human poo to cook food. Then God said, okay, use cow poo instead. So these were what the prophets, the biblical prophets went through. And it's not like today, someone can just wake up and call themselves a prophet and people will just start following them, or most prophets I've seen, they will just call you and say, oh, you live in a greenhouse, there's 3 steps outside your door, and the person will be saying, preach, Papa, tell me, Papa, tell me more, Papa. The prophets, biblical prophets, was not like that. They call people back to God. They told them off. They even tell a king off if the king is doing wrong, that what you did is wrong. God is displeased with you. They were bold. They had to be. That was their calling. So it's not all about, should I prophesy? Should I prophesy? Yes, Papa, prophesy. They'll be like, oh, this is happening. Yesterday, you had yam for breakfast. Am I prophesying? You say, yes, Papa, I had yam. And the prophet will say, and you had it with egg. Yes, Papa. Yes, Papa. No. That's not the prophets I'm talking about. And I know nowadays there's like schools of prophets where people go, they attend, and when they graduate, they say they are prophets. It wasn't like that in biblical days. God called them. And you don't become a prophet because your spouse is one. Oh, my husband is a prophet, thereby I'm a prophetess. No, I have to be called separately by God, not chosen by people. Or because you're married to a prophetess, you're automatically a prophet. No, it's not. That gift is not transferable through marriage or through sex. God has to call you separately. So that's enough of the introduction. So we're going to look at the series, The Prophet and the King. So stay tuned. I know this introduction is longer than the normal ones, but it's just because I wanted to let you know what it is we're looking at so you can be clear. So it's the Prophet and the King. God bless you.